Hi, Virgo. Welcome into your reading. This is just going to be a general message for you guys. We are going to start off with a more high-level overview of what is coming through for you at this time with the oracle cards. And then as we go into the reading, we'll start to pull some tarot and then go into more specifics and more detail, okay? So that's usually how the readings start. So as you can see, I've already pulled some oracle cards for you to prepare for your reading. We have the card of Pluto, Ceres, the card of Kindred Spirits, and Portal. So a few things coming through for you right now is that, one, there is a yearning, a pull, a push even from the universe to make a change. Something that is happening in your life cannot continue any longer. This could be an internal thing where it's like your belief system of a certain situation in your life, how you're showing up, the actions that you take based off of your desires, wants, needs, whatever. Or this could be an external situation that is in your physical world that just no longer can continue. So that's the big thing here, is that something just cannot continue any longer how it is. Okay, there has to be a change made. And I think that you're starting to realize the only way for this to end, the only way to live a better quality of life, the only way for you to not go through, stressful moments or feeling like you are in lack, or maybe you feel like you're out of control of your life or something like that. Like it's a matter of, at this time, somebody here is starting to feel this strong push from the universe to make a change. And in order for something to happen and to end so you can get out of this situation, action needs to take place on your part in some way, okay? Pluto is about the destruction of a long-standing foundation. So this is something that has been in your life for a while. Now, again, this could be anything. It could be an internal construct, right? Like a mental situation where it's like, okay, well, you've been behaving a certain way, you've been acting a certain way, your decision making is based off of, a love relationship. Your decision making is based off of your status and titles at work, right? Like there's this thing around what you're doing, how you're going about it, or how you have gone about it has just led you to a standstill or no improvement, right? Like this thing that you've been working on for a really long time, and you've been motivated by a certain thing, you've built it and you've gone as far as you can go. And now it's starting to feel as though, how can I say, like sometimes when things need to end, these relationship scenarios, situations that we find ourselves in start to become more challenging. It starts to feel as though you're getting nowhere. It starts to feel like you're just going in circles, right? Like these are all indicators that it's time for this to go. It's time for this to end. It's time to approach it in a different way, or it's time to put your efforts into something different or the next phase of your life in some way. Now, again, this could be anything, right? It could be internal or external. I don't know. But I hope you understand what I'm trying to say and you know what this is in your life. For the majority of you, when these things start to happen, it's like a holistic, like holistic is in an entirety, right? Your entire life needs to start to move forward in a different direction, so there could be a catalyst of you ending a relationship, you losing a job, you losing a family member, like, things like that create this energy movement, right? So you can go the next phase. There could be a situation happening here with your parents, with your mother especially, but more so with the self-nurturing and the self-love that you give yourself here with the Ceres card. So Ceres is the mother archetype. But at the same time, maybe for some of you, you're dealing with the mother, you're dealing with the parent, but it's more in the lines of like, I'm feeling it, how you parent yourself, how you nurture yourself, how you are raising yourself. Like, do you give yourself enough love, compassion, empathy, like as you would a child, right? So like, let's just say if you're a parent, or maybe your parent, when you went through a transformative situation that was really challenging, really hard, or when your child is going through a moment like this, how do you treat them? Right? Like you try to support them, you try to guide them, you love them, you nurture them back to whether that's health or wellness or, a better situation, whatever it is. But how are you treating yourself? That's what it feels like to me. And I think that for the majority of you, you're starting to realize these things, right? Like you're starting to realize that the burdens, the challenges, the setbacks, the blockages, the low level energy maybe that some of you are experiencing in your external world with other people, like all of these things, how can I say, like the common denominator here is you, right? Like you putting yourself in these situations, or you continuing to try to push, through to fix a situation, or not giving up, or maybe being a little stubborn and you don't want to give up on this thing, which we know that you can be, right? And so it's like, no, I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up. I can't make a change. I can't do this. I can't do that. And you're just setting yourself back because you really can. It's just a mindset. It's a choice. It is bringing down this expectation that you have of yourself, or that you feel that others have of you, and being open to making a different choice and going a different path, or having a different approach. So the thing here is, it starts with you. It starts with you willing to make this change and to do things differently. Even if that's not how you normally operate, it's time to go outside of how you usually operate and create a new operating system, if that makes sense. And I think that there's something about people in your environment that are there to be of a sort of like unconscious earthly guide or angel or spirit in some way, right? Like you see them as just a person. They could be like a friend, a family member, like, a mentor, whatever. But in the ethereal realm, in the big picture realm, when you perceive it in the big picture way, this person or this group of people are there to guide you and help you through this situation in some way. So the kindred spirits is making me feel like you are coming into contact with another person or a group of people who are going to help propel you into this new path, and going to help you in some way, whether that's consciously or unconsciously, give you the tools that are necessary in order for you to make this different change, take this different approach. Does that make sense? So we'll see who they are, if they come through, or what the kindred spirits is about. Maybe you're about to meet somebody that is going to, play a big role in your life soon. I don't know. Okay, let's see. Excuse me. So we're going to go into your personal energy at this time and start to pull the tarot cards and go into more detail for you here. Mind, heart, body, soul of the Virgo. What's in their personal energy at this time, please? the most important message that the Virgo needs to know today? Virgo, Virgo, come through, Virgo, please. Beautiful. Two of Pentacles, Queen of Wands. One more. And the Five of Swords. Okay. Well, I mean, you're really driven and passionate about something right now. So that's good. Excuse me. I'm hoping that my voice will last throughout the reading because I was having some throat issues earlier. All right, so there's decision that needs to happen here. Okay, again, this path that we are talking about, like you going on a new path, right? Taking a different approach, doing it differently. What do they say about insanity? You know, trying to get different results, but doing it the same way, right? So, I mean, it needs to change. Something needs changing here. And the Two of Pentacles is this interplay between two options that you may have. It also speaks to trying to hold things up and not drop the ball. And I think that the Queen of Wands is totally capable of doing anything, you know, and, you know, he or she has all of the willpower and strength and energy to really make things happen. But at what cost here with the Five of Swords? You're trying to keep things going. You're trying not to fail. You're trying to not let people down, or maybe you have promised yourself that you're going to, you know, accomplish this thing, or, you know, like you're really set on it, but it's just not working, right? And you're trying to make sure that like you do everything that you can to make it work. And it's like asking yourself, like, what more can you do? You know, like I am sure by this point, Pluto coming out and saying that enough is enough, this thing needs to die, this thing needs to go, that's telling me that you've done everything you can, right? Like what more can you do at this point? There is a stubbornness coming through here with the Five of Swords. There is a selfish energy. Like, are you sure that by you not giving up on this thing and calling it what it is not being selfish? Like maybe you're thinking to yourself, like, I can't let somebody down, but when in fact, in some way, by you continuing and pushing forward through this thing that needs to go, that needs to end, is in reality being selfish to the other person or this group of people, or even selfish to yourself, right? So I don't know. This Five of Swords is like, I'm going to win at all costs, no matter who I hurt, no matter what bridges I burn, no matter if I, you know, get set back, right? Like I am going to win at this thing. But once you win at this thing and then you are on the other side of it, you have no one left. You have nothing left, right? Like now you have, maybe if it has to do with people, like you have people who are not on your side anymore, or you have people that you've hurt. And I don't know if this is you or not, but this is, you know, the energy of the Five of Swords. This is coming with some low level behaviors as well. This is coming with this energy of projection, right? Not being able to clearly articulate how you're feeling, therefore you act out in some way. So, we don't know what that is. I don't know what that is, but it's something to think about. The Queen of Wands with the Five of Swords can probably feel spiteful and resentful, can probably feel like this energy of like, watch me do this, right? You think I can't do this, watch me do it, Or maybe you feel that somebody has taken advantage of you, someone has hurt you, and you are trying to get back at them, but maybe in a more passive aggressive way, and it starts to create drama and toxicity and chaos in one's life, which is where the change needs to be made. Because if you start to see that your life is filled with negativity and toxicity, again, this is where it's like, it starts with you, right? Like, why are you putting yourself in these situations? What behaviors do you need to stop? And that could be the Pluto. That could be what you need to end, right? Is the behavior. So this one showed itself, Two of Cups. This is in your environment, okay? These three cards. And then the Three of Pentacles flew out as well, which is telling me that there is another person or another group of people that you're dealing with, that you're trying to grow something with and be on the same page with. Oh my God, there goes my voice. I hope I can get through this reading. Oh no. Hold on, let me drink some water. A lot of spiritualists say, readers, when they lose their voice during a reading, is that the person is having blockages expressing themselves. I don't know if I necessarily believe that. I have allergies, so that could be a reason why my throat is acting up. But I mean, maybe you have some blockages there, right? Like with your communication and expressing yourself. Okay. So in your environment, there is another person. You have the Queen of Wands and the King of Wands here. So with the Two of Cups, you're probably dealing with a relationship in some way. Okay. It doesn't have to be. It could also be parents, like I said, some sort of like individual who has influence over you. But there's something here with this other person that is unknown here with the High Priestess. They're hiding something, and then that's probably why you feel the way you're feeling. You feel like they're hiding something, therefore you're acting out. And I don't know how necessary that is. Like, I think the Three of Pentacles came out as a word of advice to like, just be open and express and articulate how you're feeling instead of this passive aggressive approach. I think that this person that you're dealing with is equally as powerful, has a lot of presence and authority in your life in some way. There's a lot that they keep to themselves. There's a lot, and maybe you take that personally. It's like people are just private in general. Some people, right? Like people are private. And then when a person enters a relationship with a private person, it can cause insecurity, because that's just their nature, right? Like it's not personal. And I don't know if this is personal or not. I'm not sure. But this is where you look at yourself to be like, why am I acting this way? Why does their nature trigger, right, my insecurity in some way? if their nature is private and secretive and you are not comfortable with that, then why are you in this relationship? It's those things where, when people complain about their person, when people have a problem with their person, when people want their person to change, or, it's like, oh, if they were just different in that way, things will be better or whatever. Like, I want them to be more open. I want them to talk more. I want them to do this. I want them to do that. And I'm not saying this is you. It could be somebody else. But it's like, when we find ourselves doing those things, then it goes into like, you can't control another person. You can't change another person. You can't tell another person you want them to act a certain way for your benefit, for your satisfaction, right? Like, where's the love in that? That is very selfish. It's either you accept it and you accept them the way they are and, because you love them still, or you leave it. There's no in between, because then you start to create these cycles where it's like, you are just wanting them to change, or maybe they make some change, but they're always going to be the way they are because that's their nature, right? So you have this like same argument all the time, right? Like for those people who have been with their person for so long, and it's always the same argument all the time. Like, at what point do you just think to yourself, like, forget it, like, okay, fine, right? Like, that's how you are. I love you anyway. I can accept it. Or I can't do this anymore. I need to go, because they're never going to change. It makes me feel like there's a need or a desire for somebody, like they want their person to be another way. So I don't know. With the High Priestess, I mean, there is a energy of also psychic ability, of being in tune with one's higher self, of spiritualism, of communicating with the other side, of heightened senses and intuition, and, working with the third eye, and, just being an overall spiritualist. And I don't know if this person is like that. There's a lot of passion here, though. This person is extremely passionate. It's a lot of sacral energy coming through for me. I'm also getting blood in some way. There's like magical power, or like you feel that they have some sort of ability or gift. They're good at manifesting. They're good at creating. They're good at bringing things to life. The Two of Cups here is just saying that it's like the relationship here with you is a focus for this person. The connection, the bond, is something that is their priority at this time. And I think it's your priority at this time as well. I feel like two people here have so much inside that just builds up, have so many thoughts and things that they wish they can say, and they just don't say them. Let's go into more detail. We're going to get the next 30 days here, break it down, the beginning, middle, and end of this 30-day period. What does Virgo need to expect? What is coming their way? What do they need to prepare for? Virgo, please. Four of Swords. Justice. The World. And the Sun. All right. Well, in the next week or two, there is a need for healing. There is a need to take a step back and just release and rest the mind, rest the body. There could be opportunities for you to sleep. Okay, I'm getting that. I'm getting like, just let it go and sleep, right? Sleeping is very healing and rejuvenating, especially if you've been in a really like high impact or overwhelming mental state of mind, right? Like where you're stressing a lot, you're overthinking, just a lot of energy happening within the body. It feels like your body's just forcing you to take a rest. So if you don't do that purposely, then you may start to feel sick or get a cold or something like that, which is going to cause you to rest anyway. With the Justice card, it's a feeling of this is happening. This ending is happening, Virgo. Okay, you have the Justice and the World together. Like there's not a lot that you can do anymore, I don't know if somebody is experiencing a physical loss of a family member or a relationship loss or a job loss, something like that, but it's for the sake of change. And I know it's super, scary, and there's a lot of fear and anxiety that goes into this, especially when you know it's coming. But at this point, you've done all you can do. You have to ride the wave. Okay, there's something here about flowing with these changes. It's like the universe is carrying you from one phase of life to the other, and trusting and believing and having faith that you will land where you need to land, especially here with the Sun card. In the next week or two, it's going to feel like a whirlwind. You're going to see physically, literally, the endings, the changes, things falling down, falling apart. And it may feel like a lot, and you need to just rest it out, right? It's like when, I don't know why I'm getting this, but like in The Wizard of Oz, when Dorothy knocks out during the tornado and then she wakes up and it's all over. Does that make sense? Like rest it out and allow the universe here to carry you where you need to go. And that's how it feels. The Sun card is blessing. It's life. Okay. It's the quality of life. It is the light. There are things that will come to light. There are things that you will see. And maybe some of these things here that you cannot see right now about this person will also come to light as well. You just have to stop forcing it. Especially when you have Justice coming through in a reading. For me, as a reader, that's one of the big things. It's like, enough. You cannot like overpower karma. You cannot overpower justice, right? Like, just let it happen. When we fight it, when we come against it, and we try to stop it or make a change, we just make that whole situation worse. It's a situation that we will go through regardless, right? But it's like, how do you want to get through it? The easiest way is to accept and release the control. The hardest way is to be defiant and come against it. In the next 2 to 3 weeks, you have the 5 of Pentacles, Ace of Wands, 4 of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles. So there's a lot of Pentacles here. In that time, you will have money on the mind, value on the mind, worth, maybe your job. But it does feel like where you felt like you lacked, like you lost something valuable, more so in the physical world, you will gain at the same time. So there's this weird, tricky interplay of like, dang, like I lost this, but I was blessed with this, right? So for an example, let's just say you and your person broke up, right? But because due to the breakup, something happens where you find yourself in a more stable, secure situation, right? Physically, materially, financially. Does that make sense? So it's like this weird, what is the word? Like win-lose type of situation. But there's a lot of motivation and energy coming through with the Ace of Wands. Ideas, sparks of ideas like, oh, now that this is happening, yes, it sucks, but at the same time, what can it do? You know, and maybe some of you have an idea about how to get out of a Five of Pentacles situation. So the Five of Pentacles is like when you need help and you don't have enough of something, you don't have the money to pay for something, or maybe physically you are handicapped in some way and you need help to, you know, get to where you need to go. I don't know. It could be anything. But there's ideas around getting out of this Five of Pentacles situation and back into the Nine of Pentacles, which is security, safety, stability, and being independent and on your own and doing it by yourself for yourself here. The Four of Pentacles is you need to save. You need to hold on to what you have. You need to be smart about how you're spending it, budgeting, you know, like when you look at your accounts or when you look at your valuables, and this could be anything. I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there. This is like, okay, this is what is important. I need to hold on to this, you know, and don't be so frivolous with it. And I don't think well, maybe you can be, I don't know. Okay, what else? But yeah, money, your work, finances, things in the physical are of focus here in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Okay, and then you have at the end of this 30-day period, the Knight of Cups, the Hanged Man. In this deck, it's called the Hanged Woman. The King of Wands again. So this person is coming into play later on in the month. And the Six of Cups. Yeah, for sure. This is not over, you know. It's a process. It does feel like there is a pause in the relationship, though. Okay. Somebody here is looking at the situation from a different perspective. There is an element of love and maybe an apology or feeling vulnerable to open up and show your feelings. Because you see this in a different light. You see, based off of these changes that you've been making, based off of this ending that puts you into this better, more secure place in life. Now that stress has subsided. Now the additional drama in the life has gone away, that you can see things clearly or differently as it relates to you and this King of Wands, male or female. So it's like sometimes, let's just say this is a relationship in some way. It doesn't have to be romantic, but a relationship. This relationship could be a burden if you are going through so much chaos in your life in some way, right? Like this is like adding to it. But once a person feels safe, secure, especially financially and materially, then they have the room to focus on other things like a relationship or like another person. So does that make sense? It's like you feel better about your situation. So now you feel better about this. Okay. You start to see that you do care, that you do love. You start to see and have compassion And there's a purity of emotion here coming through for you in this King of Wands. You're no longer financially burdened. You're no longer put in a tough situation. You are grateful to the universe for taking you out of that situation and carrying you into the next phase, for ending a phase and putting you in a place where you can begin again. Or, you know, like you see the light, you see the positivity, you see the hope. Therefore, it's helping you see this relationship with this King of Wands differently. And maybe this King of Wands was just waiting for that moment to happen. For them, it was like, I cannot speak about this. I cannot tell you how I feel. I cannot, you know, communicate with you or be vulnerable with you, right? Because you're going through something, right? Like the toxicity, the negativity, all of the other stuff that was happening, especially materially and financially, was preventing you from really seeing and communicating with this King of Wands with an open heart, right? With authenticity. Because this Five of Swords was there and they saw that and they could not express themselves while you were in this Five of Swords energy of toxicity. But I think once you got out of this and the things changed and you feel better, you don't feel like you have to hurt anybody anymore. You don't feel like you have to get back at somebody. You don't feel like projecting anymore. So there's an opportunity for this King of Wands, male or female, to open up and start to express themselves. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, it's just a matter again of it starts with you. It starts with you and the changes that you're making internally, which will reflect in your external environment, as always, as within, so without. Okay, you just have to ride this wave, have faith and trust in the universe that it's going to take you where you have to go. You will be in a better place. There may be an apology that's required, though, especially if you're acting out because you see things from a different perspective. At that point, I don't know how this King of Wands is going to feel. They may be open to talking to you about it or forgiving you. They may not. I don't know. And at that point, it's your opportunity to use what you've learned, you know, and try not to project and try to see them even from their point and from a different perspective of why they feel the way they do, you know. But yeah, I mean, that is your reading at this time, Virgo. I hope it helped. If you want something more personal that is specific to your situation, especially if you related to this and you want more information, my email is in the description of the video. So you can just shoot me an email and we can get together and do a reading for you. Like the video if you got anything out of it. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already a subscriber. Thank you so much for your time and energy. We'll see you on the next one, okay? Bye.